We are live. How you doing, everybody? This is your man, Young Squalla, and this is another podcast episode, Always Everything with Squalla. And today we have a very special guest, Madai Chakell. And go ahead, introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Madai Chakell. I'm 21 years old. I'm a singer. I'm an artist. I'm a dancer. I'm an actress, full-on entertainer. I do a lot of different things.
Cool. So first question I want to ask you is, how did you get started doing the TikTok thing?
Well, it was like trendy at the time. So I was just on TikTok just because I didn't use it necessarily in the beginning to like push my career, but I was just also like, let's just do cool stuff. Cause I feel like the videos I was seeing, like I can do that. So if it can go viral, let me just do it. But I was doing like the trending things and they weren't going viral. So I'm like, okay, TikTok is clearly not my avenue to like go viral. But I started making videos like earlier this year on more of like okay, let's use this to like show them who I am and my talent, not just trying to be like the cute it girl and think I'll go viral for my outfit and stuff like that. So I had posted a video of me singing in a different tone, a very nostalgic tone. And people liked it. It didn't go viral right away, but it was like, okay, people like this. So let me just keep this up because now I know what people will like. And I just kept doing it, but then it became like a thing. Like now I was getting like requests and I was like, okay, I have a niche. Let's keep it up. And then I went viral. So that's how it pretty much started.
Okay. I did see, and I watched another interview where you were. You was talking about that you started off doing the Lion King.
Mm-hmm.
So how was your experience doing that?
Oh my gosh, Lion King was like probably the best experience I've ever had in my life because I was such a young age. I was 9 and 10. And I felt like I was the most famous person in the world. So I can always go back to that time and think about it. And I'm like, that's exactly how I want to feel. It was great. It just finally like it put me in a professional setting where I was like, this is what I really want to do. And then I was having like the time of my life. And plus I was on tour. So I was traveling, I'm seeing all these different places, I'm performing every day. I was only going to school for not a long time. I was homeschooled, everything was lit. So I was just like, I love this life. Can we keep doing this?
Perfect.
Yeah.
So what part did you play?
I played young Nala.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know that probably was fun.
It sure was. Such a blast.
So how did, like, when you were touring at that young age, like how did you manage like keeping up with social life, school, and everything like that?
Well, my mom was on tour with me, and there were 3 other kids in the show because at that time, well, at that age, there's child labor law, so you can't perform for a certain amount of hours. So there would be 2 people playing the same role. So I'll play Nala like Monday, the other girl playing Nala Tuesday, and we just alternated. So there was a balance, even though I was still at the theater backstage just in case something would happen. So I was pretty much always on call. But I had my mom, so of course she was like my rock through the whole thing. But we did have a tutor, and we went to school from like 11 to 4. But we were cramming in so much work, and then we get off stage and we're still doing homework, and then we're like, okay, put this on pause, back on stage. So we were just always doing school. It felt like, but it was broken up a lot of the times. And then being on tour too, you also get like a day off. So like that was a day we'd explore the city. So I'd still be living like a life sometimes, but I enjoyed it. Wasn't thinking about no social life. I'm like, oh, I can leave real school. Bye, y'all. I'm on tour. So I was lit.
So what cities did you go to? Did y'all ever leave the country?
No, so it was a North American tour. The only place that we went to that was like outside the country was Canada, but it's still the North American tour. But we went to a lot of places. We went to Toronto, Vancouver, Chicago, and some of the places most of the times we would stay there for about 3 to 4 weeks. But then there were places like big cities like Toronto and Chicago, we would stay for 2 months. So we were like living there, and it was just mad fun.
Got you.
Yeah.
Well, have you ever done film acting?
Yes, I have. So when I finished doing The Lion King is when I started to break out into that. But at that time, film was in a different place. So I didn't necessarily, I did want to do film. Like I wanted to be on Disney Channel. That didn't happen. So I was still like trying to like do other things. And the things I was auditioning for were like Law and Order and stuff like that. So I booked a few of those shows. There's a show called Elementary. It's on CBS. I played in like 3 episodes as like someone's daughter. And it was like a reoccurring role for that short period of time. And then I did like this show called Celebrity Ghost Stories, and I played T-Boz's daughter, which was really cool.
What's up?
Yeah. And we were like reenacting a story where she experienced a ghost. So that was really fun. And then I've done like ring pop. I did a ring pop commercial, and yeah. So I have done those things, but I haven't done it on a large scale where I feel like it's all about me. It's just like, I'm playing a role that is catered to that role.
So how was your experience doing that versus being on stage actor?
On stage, I think I felt a lot more free because when you're on stage, there's no redos. So you're just going through the show. You're like scene 1, scene 2, scene 3, intermission, back. You know what I mean? But on camera, you're doing the same part over and over and over again. I feel like in those times too, maybe at the time I just wasn't as invested on film, but because it was such a drastic difference from being like on theater, I felt not as connected because I'm repeating these same lines. I'm not living in it anymore like I would be on Broadway. So that was one. And then you have to deal with certain things like you're filming in the cold and you got to keep taking these takes. Where you're in the theater, you ain't got to worry about being cold. So it's like small stuff like that. But I do love theater the most because I just feel like it's a lot more dramatic and I have a lot of energy and I feel like that's where I can put it. I do want to do film. I just feel like I need to do things that really fit who I am. So
Right. So do you prefer theater over voice acting?
It all depends, honestly, because voice acting has its perks. Like, you don't gotta look no way. You could just go in there and use your voice and be crazy. But theater, obviously, you're being seen. So, I haven't done theater in a long time. So right now, I'm gonna say theater because I miss it. But voice acting is always fun because, like, you could just be crazy.
Got you.
Yeah.
So, what would your advice be to an aspiring actress?
My advice would be to take acting classes. I think a lot of people just want to like jump into booking things and being on TV and all this stuff, and then they get discouraged when they're not booking, but it's like you don't have the skill. So I feel like everyone that wants to be an actress needs to actually invest in like learning about the technique, studying, working on memorizing, because that's like a huge factor that you need to have. Like, you gotta have good memory. So I just believe in like taking workshops and getting yourself into any like local things you can to get better before you try to like do something big. I mean, go for it if you have that in your spirit, but you should learn about it first.
Definitely. So obviously you do acting, singing, you're into a lot of different things as far as entertainment. So how would you describe yourself as an entertainer?
Ooh, this is a good question. How would I describe myself as an entertainer? Well, I believe that the type of entertainer I am is very universal. I feel like I can connect to a wide range of different people, different ages. So I can be for the family, and then I can be for the grown-ups, and then I can be for the children. So, and I feel like that's dope because it's like, you're not just gonna get one thing out of me. I think that I am meant to put smiles on people's faces because I feel like that's just naturally what I do. So, and I love doing it. Like, I love to make people happy. Like, I love when people comment and like, oh, this got me through my day. And I'm like, that was the goal. I just wanted someone to laugh today. Like, with all that happens in life, I'm just like, I want people to go on my page or see me and go, there's hope in the world. Like, that's literally what I want.
Right. Like when I first found you on TikTok, it was the video that everybody saw with you singing the little Uzi song.
Yeah.
I was just scrolling. I'm like, wait a minute, go back. I was like, yeah, that's cool. Cause I never heard it delivered like that. It was like, it was different. So
thank you.
Yeah. So like, what is your favorite part of the creative process as far as the music goes?
My favorite part, when it's complete. I love hearing the finished product and I'm like, I did that. Like, I love that part. Yeah, I love hearing like when it's just done because I just feel like we go through so much trying to get to that moment, and you had this vision and it's finally alive now. Going through the actual process can be a little like frustrating, at least for me, because I am such a perfectionist and I'm learning to understand that you're never going to be perfect. You're just going to keep evolving. And I feel like that has been something that I've been trying to make my mind remember, because I'll be in there and I'm like, this is not sounding like what I wanted to, but I'm like, you know what? Trust the process and you'll love it at the end, because that always happens. I'm like, I'm getting all frustrated, but I know I'm going to love this when it's done. So I love when it's over and I can finally hear it.
I definitely can relate.
Mm-hmm.
So do you write your own lyrics, or do you like have help, or
so I've done both. I've wrote a few songs by myself, and then I've also had like co-writers. And yeah, I usually write by myself when I really have something on my mind. And then other times when I'm like, I want to create something, this is the vibe I want, then that's when I usually have other people help me, because they help me bring my vision to life. But not most of the times, but other times, like I said, it's definitely when I'm going through something where I'll write it all by myself, because I feel like that's going to be the most authentic. And I'm like, this is how I feel. So yeah.
All right, and so we see that you're like an amazing singer. You have great vocal control. Like you really do that. And how the question is, how do you maintain the vocal control that you have?
Well, I have been trained professionally singing wise since I was 5. I don't believe that I was one of those kids that just came out the womb and was singing perfect notes and everything. Like, you know, you see those little like 6-year-olds and they're just great. You're like, that wasn't me. I don't think that was me. I just feel like I had the passion for it to actually become good at it. So I did have training when I was 5, and I've always pretty much had training through 5 all the way through Lion King, because you're pretty much rehearsing every day. So it was just always hands-on with my voice. It was never like I'm in the mood to sing. It was like I'm always singing. So I got better like that. And then now I don't necessarily have vocal training, but I just keep up certain habits. Like I am a tea girl all the time. I have my little 1s and 2s in my tea, my ginger, my honey, my throat coat. Like I'm all about that, drinking a lot of water. And then like working out, that also expands your lungs so you can be better. So I just like keep up with the maintenance of it, and then just not perfect it, evolve it, if that makes sense, but make it better every time I sing.
Right. So yeah. I know you say you drink a lot of water. What's there's a lot of different waters out now. So what are you a fan of?
I like me a little alkaline water. I like Essentia. I think that's how you pronounce it. But I'm not gonna lie, I don't be always drinking those same waters. But if I'm feeling empty, that's what I'll drink. But if there's water around, I'm just gonna drink it, because I need to be hydrated at all times. Like I just try not to engage in things that can be detrimental to my voice. And if I do, definitely at a balance and at like a boundary where I'm like, okay, this is only for this time. This is not my lifestyle.
Right.
Yeah.
So who are your biggest influences in music?
Ooh, biggest influences. Okay, so Christina Aguilera, that's one. I just feel like my voice has been always able to like imitate her, so I'm just like, I love it. Who else? Another big influence with my voice. Tiana Taylor, for sure. Toni Braxton, Demi Lovato.
I could definitely hear that too. Like now that you're saying those names, I can hear it.
Yes. Honestly, it's not, although I just named some people, it's more so like different eras that have created the sound that I have now, because I can list thousands of different people that I'm like, they've inspired me, because ever since I was a kid, I was always a sponge. So anything I heard, I'm like, I programmed it into my brain. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. So everything I've ever heard in life, I've just taken it in, and now I just try to make it my own. So a lot of different people.
Cool. So what would set you aside from another artist? Like what would you bring to the music industry?
I believe that a lot of times today there are artists who music was like their hobby, and they got fortunate enough to make it pop.
But for me, a lot of that.
Yeah. But for me, I've been studying this my whole life, so I feel like an OG in what I do. I feel like I'm very seasoned at the age that I'm already at, just because I've already had so much training, and there's artist development that's already within me. And the way that I'm thinking is longevity. It's not just for this moment. I think of things that are like, is this gonna stick in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years? Like, and I know a lot of people do say that, but they ain't really on that. And that's really what I'm about. So I think that my passion and how long I've been doing it for will set me apart.
That's perfect. That's perfect. So what are some of the obstacles that you've encountered as an up-and-coming artist?
Not letting numbers affect my mental state, because now today that's like the one of the major keys. Like, you can be mad talented, but if you're getting 0 views, labels are not looking at you. Right. So I'll be like, I'm so frustrated, because I'll probably see someone else who you know, in their own right is doing what they're doing, but I'm like, but they went viral with it, so now they're already able to do what I'm trying to do. Right. So exactly. The numbers has definitely been a factor, because like, definitely going viral the way that I have, like the video that you saw was my most viral video. Like right now it's at 20 million. So now when I post and I don't wake up to like 1 million, I'm like, am I not good anymore? Do they not love me? And I know that's not true, but like that million did something to me. So my mind is always like, we gotta go bigger, we gotta go harder. Definitely the numbers game has affected me for sure.
So have you encountered any like janky promoters, janky venues, any people
not to the point where they are affecting me. They might have tried to send a little message, and I'm like, I know what this looks like. Like, no. So nothing too crazy, because I feel like I have good judgment before I even get in a space where I'm like, how did I get here? You know what I mean? So not really. I've been pretty blessed to not experience that.
Yeah, that's definitely good. You haven't experienced that.
Yeah.
So what are some short-term, long-term goals you have as an entertainer?
A short-term goal, I mean, maybe this sounds, I don't know. I feel like in my head, this is short-term, because like in the next 5 years, that's kind of short to me. I want to be on a world tour, like everywhere, and I want everyone to know my name. I want to give the Michael Jackson effect where they're passing out. I mean, not that crazy, but that's how I want them to feel. I want them to, like when they see Beyonce, like, man, that's my goal. And long term, honestly, to be like an icon. Like, I want for the award shows to be putting on tributes for me. Like, I want to be that kind of artist where they just feel like we need to dedicate this to Madai Chakell.
Definitely. I can see you making it there. Don't worry.
Thank you.
You definitely got the talent.
Thank you.
So what are some artists that you would like to work with?
Pharrell, for one, because I just feel like he makes me want to dance every time. Who else? Doja Cat. I just feel like our energy levels would definitely just go crazy on the screen. Like like when I think of her, I don't even necessarily think of the music. I'm like the visuals, because we're so animated, and I feel like that's what we're missing right now. Who else? Those two right now are like on the top of my list. But honestly, Party Next Door. I love Party Next Door so much. Like on my R&B tip, that's definitely who I want to work with.
He's very underrated.
He's so underrated. But honestly, I feel like people know he's lit. He's just not in the social light. But when you mention him, everybody knows Party Next Door, and they're like, yeah, he's that guy.
So what's your opinion on music today?
My opinion on music today. I feel like it's at a place where I feel like it's too accessible. I feel like everyone is able to become like big, which I feel like makes it hard to have that level of like status, where back in the day, if we seen a celebrity, we're gonna go mad. Where now we see a celebrity, the average person thinks they're a celebrity too. I feel like everybody thinks they're famous, and it's like the how much it's worth to be that, like, you know, high status is just kind of not the same, which is sometimes frustrating, because I love that era where I felt like everybody that was famous was like A-list, and it now seems a lot easier to become that. So I feel like the passion is not necessarily there. I feel like it's like what's that phrase, like get money quick scheme type thing. I feel like it's all about money right now, and that's another thing that I can't stand, because I love this. Like, I haven't ever really thought about when I become famous, I'm gonna have this. Although I know it's gonna come, it's never it doesn't even cross my mind like on a day-to-day basis. Like it's not even, I don't do this because I'm like, I'm gonna be mad rich. Like that's a given. I do this because I want to show people like this is what I love to do. So I think the passion is definitely not the same. But fortunately, because it is a little easier for everyone to become famous, I'm gonna slip through the cracks and then shut it down so we can go back to what it was supposed to be.
Definitely. What ways
Yeah.
do you think music is going to evolve in the future?
How do I think it's gonna evolve? Honestly, although we've kind of already been like sampling things from back in the day, I think that people are going to do it a lot more. Like it's gonna be, I feel like we're gonna kind of revert back to an older sound for sure, but in a just a higher quality way. What else? Yeah, that's one of the biggest things because I'm noticing that like there's this group that I love. They're called Flow Like This. And they have a sound that's so nostalgic, but it does sound a lot more updated. But I think of a simpler time when I listen to them. And I just feel like people are going to start riding that wave now.
Cool. Mm-hmm. So you got your single out. What's it called? I Can't Love You, right? Mm-hmm. So that, you said that's based on the true events in your life.
Yeah.
So do you think those type of events positively affected your music and your creativity?
Yes, for sure. Because honestly, it's like if those things didn't happen, would have never had the song. And I feel like the song's a banger. So it's like, you know what? I'm not necessarily glad that happened, but I'm okay with that happening because I was able to make this. So yeah, that's pretty much how I feel about that.
Got you. So what is your opinion on love today? Like, is it still relevant today? Or, you know, you see how people act.
I love love. So my opinion on it is that, you know, I think this is so funny because this is like a relevant topic in my life all the time. I just love love, and I think that we should just all work on ourselves and love will come to us. I feel like love still exists. It's just that I think we're all kind of rushing it and we're not really like, everybody that we meet, we're just hoping that it's that person. And it's like, it don't work like that, you know, just let things happen naturally. But I do think it's relevant. It's necessary. Like a lot of music wouldn't be here without love. So we need love.
I'm glad you said that. Because the next question is, do you think music lacks love today, or will love come back to music? Because a lot of music is very secular and violent.
Yeah. It definitely does. I think the perspective of love has changed. I think we still talk about it, but what we think love is giving toxicity. So it's still there. It's just a different kind of love that they talk about. But yeah, we definitely are lacking. I feel like there's not a lot of healthy relationships anymore. And then especially people in the music industry, they don't even be in full-on relationships anymore. So it's like they're not going to write about it. And what they are going to write about their love experience is not love. So we are missing it.
It shows. It definitely shows.
Yeah, but I feel like people focus on like the negative things. Like we don't have a lot of representation anymore just in pop culture of like love. There is that, but we don't glorify the ones that are actually like lovey. We glorify the toxic stuff. So they'll talk about the breakup and everything. And I mean, me too. I've talked about the breakups, but I feel like I'm just not seeing love anywhere to be talking about it as much.
Exactly. Like R&B back in like our parents' day versus now is like totally different.
Yeah, for sure.
Different. So I know I see you dropped the single. Should we expect a project coming from you?
A project? I feel like you should expect it. Just not with a date included because I still have opinions about dropping a project at this second, but I do have a song coming out soon, which everyone knows on TikTok already, the You'll Get Over It, that I turned into a rock song. Wow. So that's coming out, and that's a little 1-2 project. So yeah.
Oh yeah, about that song, has Lil Uzi's people, or has he ever reached out to you at all?
No, not yet. I think that I might hear from them as I keep making the song bigger. So right now, I haven't heard from them.
Okay. So yeah. Aside from that, what can we expect from you in the near future?
The near future, you can expect a lot more visuals. That is something that I have in the works right now because I feel like music isn't just the sound, it's putting the face to it and the personality. So I have a lot more things coming in that realm.
Perfect, perfect. And I think that's all I needed from you today. So
Awesome.
I really appreciate you from coming on. I thank you so much, and I'm definitely a fan. I'll be watching your TikToks all the time. You be definitely tripping me out sometimes.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me. Like, I really, really, really appreciate being on here, especially like in my early stages. I'll remember this for sure.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah, maybe we can do it again next time we both be bigger.
Yes, of course. And I love what you're doing as well. The questions were amazing. I had a great time.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.